The Bob TV Network presents, broadcasting live from the greatest city in the world, New York City. It's the Bobby Brown Show. And now here's your host, Bobby Brown. Well, good day. Welcome to another episode of the Bobby Brown Show. I'm your humble host, Robert Bob TV Brown, and this is an impromptu video that I'm going to do today. I got a video coming up tonight entitled Roland Martin, keep Janet Jackson name out your mouth. I told you I'm going for everybody who put their mouth on Janet Jackson and try to give them some understanding of why Janet did what she did. It's not my business on why she did what she did, but I do understand and I get it. Some people don't, and they melting down. You don't want melting down. Janet's chilling, boy. Janet is chilling. But we're going to talk about this right here. All right, so Magic Johnson, Irvin Johnson, greatest basketball player of all time, LA Lakers. You all know him. Longest contract in history with the Lakers. Owner of various teams and businesses and franchises and things like that. The first person that was not in the LGBTQ community to be acknowledged as having HIV, which I don't know if that's true or not, but yeah, everybody else, Rock Hudson, Liberace, all these guys were part of that community, and they were dying of AIDS, and they needed, and then Magic Johnson allegedly got involved with porn star Heather Huntley, allegedly, and caught AIDS. And I don't even remember Heather having it. Heather is living a good life doing photography right now and out of the game. But we all know Magic Johnson was in LA, and LA got him. LA lifestyle, I'm talking about the Tinseltown, not the street. LA Hollywood life got the Magic Johnson. Magic Johnson was part of Hollywood. And we all know Hollywood is a big supporter of liberalism and big supporter of the Democratic Party. And Hollywood is the biggest lobbyist for the Democratic Party, trying to get certain agendas pushed. And they're the fuel behind the pushing of different agendas that cater toward, and what I would say, because I am a Christian, an anti-Christ lifestyle. Anti-Bible, anti-scripture, anti-godly lifestyle, and more toward the lifestyle that was featured in Anton LaVey Satanic Bible, which says, do what you will. That's the whole law. Another, do whatever you want to do, whatever make you feel good and whatever make you look good, whatever, do that. That's the only law we require. Come join the Church of Satan and Anton LaVey's philosophy. And that's how it was. Anton LaVey, big in Hollywood. I mean, it goes way back to the 70s and stuff. Right around the time when Magic Johnson started to get his career in high school basketball, college basketball, and eventually going over to the Lakers. So it's not surprising. It's not surprising that Magic Johnson and his family, with his family, this is Magic family, beautiful kids. And say what you want about EJ, the one that's all the way on your left or on my right or whatever. He's part of LGBTQ community. He's identified himself as a female, and this is his family, and this is a non-traditional family. Well, I wouldn't say that. The traditional family is usually husband and wife, Cookie and Magic Johnson. And despite all the stuff that Magic went through and the risk of getting her HIV positive and things like that, Cookie stayed with him. Hats off to him. That's what a man and a woman should do. They should fight for their marriage. Now, again, we all know Magic Johnson was player. And who knows? He could have been all the way into the Hollywood lifestyle. And when I say Hollywood, all the way into the Hollywood lifestyle, I mean all the way into the Hollywood lifestyle, which was welcoming to certain people in these sports teams. And he was known as Mr. Showtime, Mr. Hollywood. Magic Johnson was the show. He brought the show to LA when it came to sports. And everybody in Hollywood gravitated toward the Lakers. And the Lakers was Hollywood. And great team, man. I don't take nothing away from them, but I have to talk about the different stuff that different people went through in the Lakers, and the different pains and struggle that most of them had to go through, mainly because they got sucked into that Hollywood lifestyle. And even the children got sucked up into the Hollywood lifestyle. Well, anyway, this is not about Magic Johnson's family all the way. It's not about Johnson and EJ. I may see some things about fatherhood and being a man in this piece, and I don't want nobody to get offended. And if you do get offended, oh well, these are just my personal opinions. Remember what I said, Let me go back to this. Remember what I said here? Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, education, research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statutes that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, educational, and personal use tip the balance in favor of fair use. So I'm going to do some criticism, some commenting, some teaching. I'm going to do some of all that stuff. Then number 2, all opinions expressed by the program participants are solely their current opinions and do not reflect the opinions of me, Robert Brown, or the Bob TV network. We do promote our First Amendment rights here, no matter if I agree with you or not. You got a right to express your First Amendment right. I do not shut you down from that. The program participant opinions are based upon information they consider reliable. It is your responsibility to fact check on your own, which means I'm anti-government getting involved with our programming or our broadcasting and things like that. So let me go back over here, and I want to put this up concerning Magic Johnson, because Magic Johnson did go on TV recently to talk about supporting Kamala Harris campaign. And he had a special message. This is coming from C-SPAN. He has a special message for not Asians, not Asian men, not white men, not Latino men. Anyway, Magic Johnson knows Kamala Harris, and he knows what Kamala Harris is about. He knows Kamala Harris' agenda that she puts in California. On the forefront of gay rights, on the forefront of gay priority, LGBTQ priority in some situations. He realized that Kamala Harris was so more focused on, I think it was Prop 18 and pushing the LGBTQ lifestyle in the forefront and totally neglecting the traditional family, Christian values, and things like that. I don't think I've ever heard her mention Christ or Jesus or anything. Now, like I said, guys, my channel is not going to be according to your direction. It's going to be according to the direction that's in my heart. And I got to talk about this. If you want to go on and leave, you can, but we're going to talk about this. And again, it's not even about the LGBTQ community. Kamala Harris was thrust into the Hollywood lifestyle. She dated well-known, popular political icon Willie Brown, even though the man was married and his wife was trying to get back with him. She was a wedge in between, and doing whatever she can to kind of get Willie to herself. Willie was a smooth dude, even for the age, and Willie was like, what, 50, and Kamala was like 20-something. I think Willie was 60-something and Kamala was 20-something, whatever. Age, whatever. She was grown. She was an adult. And Willie did a lot of favors for her in exchange for whatever. And Willie got a good job, 2 good jobs that you really needed to qualify for, but Willie said, for her, scratch that, you got the job. And Willie began to put her on Team Willie all the way throughout her career. Willie was behind crafting and shaping the career of not just Kamala Harris, but people like Gavin Newsom. He helped promote Nancy Pelosi and stuff. They all come from that ilk that was birthed out of San Francisco with Harvey Milk, Dianne Feinstein, Jim Jones. Matter of fact, it was Willie Brown that was really the force behind getting a lot of those people to be comfortable with going over to Guyana, and he endorsed and gave Jim Jones the thumbs up to build a nation in Guyana, and was in full support of it and full support of the people going. But we know how that story ended. That's a whole nother video I can do on his own. But all these guys kind of collectively together, all of them surround Willie Brown. So Kamala got in that lifestyle, man. She after she graduated from Hastings, she began to get jobs with Willie Brown, and she ended up becoming a prosecutor, and then she ended up becoming district attorney general, U.S. senator, vice president, and now she's on the verge of being the president. But during that time, she really pushed alternative lifestyle, free living, free will or freestyle, sexual encounters, and all that kind of stuff. She really wasn't pushing the gospel. She wasn't pushing Jesus. She wasn't pushing Bible. She was Hollywood to the T, and she backed that up to the T. And if you're in that kind of arena, she's going to do everything she can to help you live a comfortable life in that. She's not going to fight you on that and things like that, you know. And listen to me, I'm not here to do that. I'm a man that that respects people's choices. That's your choice. The Bible said, choose this day whom you serve. And yet the Bible do say, choose life, my life, that you and your seed may live. Choose my life that you and your seed may live. So even though God give you free will and free choice, he still advise you which way to go, whether you decide to go that direction or not. It's up to you. And God will respect your decision. And I respect your decision. And God's going to love you and still be a friend of you as much as he can, and still try to connect you, yet still whisper in your ear to, hey, go this direction. He's never not going to tell you not to go the direction that he have in a path that he have for you. He's never going to, even though you go in your own direction, fine, he endorse you, he love you. He's always going to tell you, hey, you still got time to get on this path, because this is the path that's going to lead you into the kingdom. Okay, your own path don't take you to the kingdom. My path do. And he have to talk to me too. I veer off the path every now and then, but I try to get back on it. I don't just ignore it and say I'm not going to ever go that way. And you know, and she come from a Hindu family, so and her dad is pretty much he's Indo-Jamaican, so he probably got some Hindu in him too, with a little he probably have the Hindu religion in him too, to a certain extent. But he, you know, born in Jamaica, so he probably got a little Rastafarian in him also, which is another type of religion. But hey, Magic Johnson decides to go up here and endorse Kamala Harris, and he has his reasons. Because Magic Johnson is friends with her. He was friends with her before she met Doug. He knows Doug. Doug is an attorney to a lot of his friends. And they go way back. And like I said, all these Hollywood types stick together. George Clooney and everything, they all stick together. So, of course, you're going to expect most of Hollywood to get out there and endorse Kamala Harris, because that's their girl. That's their golden girl. And she's going to help push more of their agenda, including the direction of trying to get to your kids a little bit younger. They want to push their agenda in the schools. They want to push their agenda in primary books and have certain different type of people read the books to them, and they want to be able to put kids in a position that if you feel like a girl, you can become a girl now, and you don't have to wait till you're an adult. Or if you feel like you're supposed to be a boy and you're a girl, we're going to accommodate you on that. They're working on that right now with Gavin Newsom. And dang, if you're a parent, you bet not get in the way. You're not their overall parents now. We are. That is the philosophy of this administration. And people wonder why I don't support that. People assume that I'm going to support the Trump administration because that's the only option they believe out there. There are many other options out there, by the way, that you can choose from. But this is one of the reasons why I won't support and have not supported the Democratic Party on some tickets. Some tickets I do. See, you're going to get, when you go into the voting booth, you're going to have a long list of people to vote for, and you're going to have some ballot initiatives. So it's important that you go vote. But me, I won't vote for the top of the ticket, because that top of the ticket, the direction is anti-Christ biblically. And so I can't knowingly support that myself, because it goes against my faith, and my faith will be the deciding factor on a lot of things. At least I try to make it the deciding factor, because it never failed me yet. It never failed me yet. So I try to make that lead me and guide me in anything. No. I stick with the word of God. I stick with the scriptures, and whatever the scriptures have, not the opinions of men or the changed thoughts of the church and things like that. It's what the scripture says that I will try to continue to align myself with. And I'm not talking about you changing the scriptures to fit you. That's not God. God don't change. He's the same today, yesterday, and forever. He does not change. So, and I'm not perfect, but I'm striving to align myself and my thoughts and everything with scripture as much as I can. Not perfect, miss it. But anyway, let's get into Magic Johnson. And all this stuff is not, I'm just running off the mouth. It's one point that I want to talk about Magic Johnson, okay? But not the entire point.
Hey! Wow. It's so great to be back home. And what an outstanding cause to elect my friend Kamala Harris, President of the United States. I'm here because I've known Kamala for over 20 years. Cookie and I supported her run for Attorney General back in the state of California, her run for Senator, and now we support her as a VP. But now the biggest moment for all of us, November the 5th, we have to do all we can to elect Kamala Harris as the next president of the United States.
Now, I'm going to stop right there. I'm not in the game of convincing people to not support. I'll just tell you why I won't. You know my reason why. So I have no issue with this. He's going to tell you guys to support Kamala Harris, and you've got valid reasons to support her if she goes along with what your vision for what the country should look like. Then that's your prerogative. And the same thing for the Trumpers. If you see some things, like I said, I go back to the policies, and the policies that really push me more than anything. But there's some policies that I can't. It's a wrap. See, people accuse me of being a one-issue voter. No, I'm a many-issue voter. But most of my issue is going to be led spiritually. It's going to be spiritual issues. There's certain things that I know God is not for and God does not support, and but man does. And the wisdom of man does not trump the wisdom of God. So I'm going to always try to lean toward the wisdom of God. But I let man do their thing. I can't control man. I barely control me as a man. Who in the heck are me to try to tell you what to do? I can't control you. So I get where Magic Johnson is going, because this is his girl, and this is, hey, we're going to get her elected. All right, great on you. Great on you. And you got likewise with the Trumpers on Trump and the policy. And look, Trump got some good, decent policies under Agenda 47. That project, that crap is crap. You know, the guy who really was the head person to write that up just endorsed Kamala Harris and try to get Kamala Harris to do Project 2025. And Democrats use that as a fear tactic, and then you got the Republicans trying to use things as a fear tactic. Oh, it's going to turn into a communist country and all that kind of stuff. I mean, hey, that's what you believe. I have nothing. That's what you believe. I'm not going to fight you on your belief, and don't be trying to fight me on mine. All right. If you believe she's going to turn this a communist country, that's what you believe. They too tied into corporatism for me to believe that they're going to turn this into a communist country. If anything, it's going to be what Mussolini called a fascist country. It's going to be more control of the corporate state versus more control of the government or more control of the people. There's no control of the people at all, and none of them are pushing the control of the people. And both sides are trying to take some liberties away from us. Now, like I said, there's policies I see on Trump's side that I do support. There's a few policies, not many, that I see on the left that I do support. And just because I like a lot of those policies on Trump's side, don't mean I'm going to cast a vote for them. But there's some policies I cannot tolerate on the Democratic side that I'm definitely you're not going to get my vote. Criminalizing speech, misinformation ain't nothing but a lie, and you want to criminalize that and penalize that because somebody might lie about something. You need to know your information so you can recognize the lie. People been lying since the foundations of this earth. And if God is not killing people for lying, well, I ain't gonna say that. Lying to the Holy Ghost, like he did. I can't think of the Ananias and Sapphira. I think that's the name. Lying to the Holy Spirit, they drop dead. But usually there's no other case of lying costing people life. So why are you trying to penalize somebody for lying? Now I can see lying in the court of law. There's something different. Let me let Magic keep going.
She wants to build up the middle class, and I know something about the middle class because I come from a middle class family.
Everybody wants to build up the middle class. Trump want to build up the middle class. Jill Stein wants to build up the middle class. Cornel West want to build up the middle class. Whoever's the libertarian guy that's running, he wants to build up the middle class. Claudia, whatever her name, she wants to build up. Everybody wants to build up the middle class. That's nothing exciting. That's a part of every election stump speech. We want to build up liberal. How are you going to do it? Because if you say home ownership is going to build up the middle class, it normally does. But homes are high as a kite right now. And people can't come up with the down payment, and the $25,000 tax credit ain't gonna do it because you're gonna have to get $25,000 to put into the house in order to get the $25,000 tax credit. Instead of giving them a $25,000 grant or $25,000 pre-loan or something like that assistance program, giving them a tax credit only can do so much, and only somebody who got some money can do it. But there's criterias to getting that refund. Can't miss no payments. I mean, we're going to break that down one day, but let me let Magic keep talking. Yes, owning a home can get you closer to the middle class, but owning a home don't get you in the middle class. Your wages got to get you there. Your debt to surplus ratio got to get you there. All that stuff got to get you there. Your credit got to get you there. So you got to come up with a whole good plan other than home ownership to get somebody in the middle class. Ownership to get somebody in the middle class.
My father worked 30 years.
Anyway, his father.
Body.
Mind you, he's in Michigan, a state that Kamala Harris need to win also. Which the Muslim community has vowed to give their support to. Most of the Muslims have vowed to give their support to the Green Party because they realize both parties, Republican, Democrat, are imperialists and suck-ups to the Jewish government, the Israeli government, and they're willing to side with them over anybody in the world. And people say, Rob, you ought to be excited about that because you're a Christian. No, I'm not excited about the Israeli government because the Israeli people in the Israeli land and the government are not one and the same. Just like the United States government and the decision they make ain't got nothing with most of us, the people or the land. So no, I'm not fond of that. But Magic Johnson talked about his dad being a middle class guy, and if you watch Winning Time, you got a chance to meet his dad. Good guy. But Magic Johnson ain't never been middle class because the man got a great talent in playing basketball. Never been middle class. He grew up in a middle class home, but he himself never been middle class. He is wealthy to the core. He's worth $1 billion.
When I turned pro, I thought that was going to be the greatest moment in my father's life, but it wasn't. The greatest moment in his life came when he finally owns his own home. What does Kamala Harris wants to do as president? Put millions of Americans in their own home, give them $25,000 to start them off.
You see the play of words? Now, from George Bush, see, George Bush talked about the ownership society. He wanted to put everybody in their own home. That's why we had that horrible financial crisis where people were buying homes left and right, but at the end was a crazy balloon payment, and you see how that crashed the freaking market. Barack Obama wanted everybody to have their own home. Just about everybody wanted everybody to have their own home. He said by giving them a $25,000. Let's go back to that. He didn't say tax credit, because that's exactly what it is. These people be playing around with the words. And let me remind you of something. It's funny that these billionaires are coming to these stages telling you what you need to do and telling you who you should support. These millionaires and billionaires. A lot of time, it's not that many regular people that's on these stunt speeches. They'll have them come in for about 5-10 minutes, but the keynote speaker is going to be some millionaire or billionaire. Well, let me go back to what Magic said just now.
In their own home, give them $25,000 to start them off.
She's not giving nobody $25,000 to start people off. This is where the lie come, and I have to come in and tell the truth. It's a $25,000 tax credit, and it's for first-time home buyers. So if you ever own a home, you ain't gonna qualify. If you want to get another home, you're not gonna qualify. It's gonna be mainly for first-time home buyers, and it's gonna be mainly leaning toward immigrants and minorities. Now, I have to remind you, minority don't mean black anymore. The number one person on the minority list right now are white women, not black people, not black men, not black women. We're at the bottom of the totem pole nowadays when it comes to the term of minorities. That's why I love the term of minority. We would have never been a minority if we didn't fell for these population control techniques. That's why I'm so against the deletion of the next generation, because it's a method of population control. Had we not been genocide by white supremacists after Reconstruction, had not we been genocide throughout our different neighborhoods that we built and things like that, and had not we fell for, well, I say it like that, abortion, I forgot what they call it now, and we didn't fell for the abortion technique and the getting rid of your father to get welfare technique, we would be in the majority, because we were breathing like, we learned the habit of breathing like rapid fire, because of our slave owners did not want to go buy new slaves. They breeded new slaves. So we were on a roll of giving birth left and right. We were growing rapidly. We're about to outgrow anybody in the United States. So they had to find some way to control us. But anyway, let me get to Magic Johnson. That's something else. $200. It's not $200,000. It's not a $25,000 that she's going to give you. Even if you qualify, you're not getting a $25,000 cash toward a down payment for a home. No, as you come up with your $25,000, and if you qualify for our program, you're going to get a $25,000 tax credit.
To be homeowners. That's very important. Then she wants to also have more small business owners.
Now, what president don't say they want more small business owners? There's no problem. There's so many people that want to start business. People starting business left and right. There's no problem. You can start a business. You don't even need a lot of capital to start a business. You can start a business, and you can use other people's money to start a business. I mean, do you have the time and the dedication to do it? Because some people are not built to be business owners. Some people are built to work. So everybody can be a business owner. But yeah, of course she wants more business owner. That's what any human person wants to do, especially any president that got some guts, some galls. George Bush wanted that. Barack Obama wanted that. Trump wanted that. Every president wanted that, so that's not surprising either.
She's going to help them out by giving them $50,000 for startup new small business owners.
See how nobody's giving up $50,000 to start your own business. You got to come up with $50,000 to start your business, and with your prerequisite, you can get a return through a tax credit. But the way they term it is, she wants you to get $25,000. She's gonna give you $25,000 to get your own home. She's gonna give you $50,000 to start your own business. That's not true. These are tax credits. These are not grants. These are not stipends. These are not loans. These are credits. Now, it's good. I applaud her for wanting to give us $25,000 tax credit, $50,000 tax credit. Great idea, but the thing is where you going to get the $25,000 to put down on that house? Where you going to get the $50,000? And it's up to $25,000. Up. If you go over $25,000, you're not getting that money. You're not going to get no more money. And like I said, there's a prerequisite in that tax return, in that return on that, because it's a tax credit. So it's not $50,000. She's gonna give you $25,000 magic. Stop sitting up there being con artisty or whatever you want to call it. Tell it like it is, man. Tell the truth. It's a tax credit. It's not you making these people think, oh, listen, because we all have the ability to get a $25,000 loan toward a house. She's going to give us a $50,000. No, that's not true. And stop wording it that way. See, that's what con artists do, or salesmen. Let me say salesmen. I don't want to talk about magic. I love magic. I do. Great businessman, great basketball player, great guy. Need to be a little more stern on the family values a little bit. Well, he don't raise his family on Christian values. He raised it on secular values, and that's okay. That's his family. Me, I will raise my family under Christian values. You're Muslim, you raise your children under Muslim values. Most of you guys raise your children under secular value. You are under some type of religion. Some people are atheists, but they raise their children under atheist. You believe in something. You may not call it a religion, but you believe in something, and that's how you raise your children. Magic Johnson raises children on secular values. So do Kamala Harris, the children that she got, which are pretty much grown anyway. She never had her own children. And Willie Brown wasn't going to give her none. And this is what all these people are going to tell you. They're going to make it seem like she's going to give you. Her and her administration is going to give you. You're going to apply for it, and you're going to get a check for $25,000 for a house. You're going to get a check for $50,000 to start your own business. You ain't getting no check. You have to go to the bank. You're going to have to qualify. Your credit going to have to be good. More importantly, you're going to have to get it from a bank. And if your credit ain't up to par, you ain't going to qualify, which most people credit are not up to par. Hell, I'm working on getting mine up. So if your credit ain't up to par, you're not going to be able to get a $2,500 loan, let alone $25,000. You know what kind of credit you got to have to get a $25,000 loan for a home? You got to have dang near perfect credit. You got to have a freaking eight something to get that amount to put toward a house. And look, $25,000 nowadays ain't enough to put on a house, especially like a house in New York, man. It's almost impossible. Ain't no that many houses in New York. You got to go to Queens, Westchester County, Mount Vernon, somewhere like that. But in the city, Brooklyn, Bronx, forget about it. Unless you Metchalama, co-ops and stuff like that. Yeah, but I'm talking about a house. So believe me, if you're not doing Metchalama, co-op or something like that, you're not getting more bang for your bucks. You're going to spend $1 million for a regular home. $1 million. Same thing in California. A regular, raggedy owned home is going to cost you almost $1 million. You have to move to Texas. You have to move to Mobile, Alabama. Well, you have to move to even Atlanta, man. The prices of houses are going up. My sister live in Atlanta. Housing going up, man. You have to live doggone near in a rural area to get a decent house built up on a nice plot of land. $25,000 ain't going to cut it. Let me get through this because this is not where I want to start. I'm just pointing out some things here because people's stump speech sounds great, but you got to be a little more detailish about it, especially the person who are proposing this, not the special guests.
Tax deduction.
He did say tax deduction. After a long while everybody's screaming, yay, he lowly says tax deduction. So at least he got it out, but most people didn't hear it. Let's go back and listen to it.
For startup, new small business owners, tax deduction.
Tax deduction. He did said it. Thank you, Magic, for being honest on that one. You should have said it on a home loan too, because that's the tax deduction.
She's smart. She's strong. She's passionate. Nobody's going to outwork her.
Whoa. Let's stop right now. The whole time, whole 4 years as president, what work did she do? I mean, she could have did work. She's the president of the Senate, so of course, occasionally she'll show up for a tie-breaking vote, but if it's not a tie-breaking vote, she ain't showing up. She wasn't on the border. She's supposed to be the border czar, or in control of the border crisis. She ain't even trying to touch that. I think she knew Joe Biden was trying to set up with that monstrosity of a crap of a program. He left her hanging, and she knew it, and she was like, forget it then. You expect me to fix this, man? I can't fix this, man. This thing is horrible. And we got this huge fluctuation of migrant coming in, but that was under her. She was supposed to be in charge of that, but she dropped the ball on that. So tell me what she been working hard, bruh. Tell me what she been working hard. Doing what? The hardest she's doing is this, trying to blend in. That's the hardest work that she's ever done. But what work has she done? Now, mind you, look, I'm not going to take nothing away from her. In California, she did some hard work. She worked. She worked the bones. She created policies as a DA. She worked policies as an attorney general. She worked. Some good, some bad. Failed to prosecute Steve Mnuchin for the housing crisis. They were stealing people's houses left and right in California. What did she do? They claim she won settlements back from people's houses been stolen. These people need their homes back. But yet you want to do a homeowners program. What people have done in their past, what people doing now will determine what they're going to do in the future. And her past concerning the housing crisis has not been good for the people of California, especially black people, who's lost so much homes, so many properties to the corporate state and to companies like Steve Mnuchin Company, who has been our Treasury Secretary for quite a long time. That thief, that crook, been our secretary for quite a long time, who snatched people homes and sold them to corporations for high dollars. Let me get back to this.
Committed to you as the people of the United States, the people of Michigan. She's committed to you. She's going to be a president for everybody. And
what president don't try to be a president for everybody? Sometimes that's not good. Sometimes you need to be the president for the people who put you in there the most. You need to make them the priority. Well, look her. I'm Barack Obama. I can't just be the president of black people. I got to be president of all people. Can't be president of black people. All people. That's right. I'm Barack Obama. Yes, she will be the president of all people, but we will see her just like she done in California, and just like she did as vice president with Joe Biden. We will see her prioritize certain people above other people. She had prioritized everybody over black people, especially when it comes to the migrant situation in Ukraine. She will continue to put them, foreigners, people that's not United States citizens, above the United States citizens. So she's going to be, when you say she's going to be the president of all people, you got that doggone right. All the people in the world. And she's going to put all the people in the world before the American citizens. Because that's been their motto since they got in office. And that's been most of the motto of the Democratic Party. Take care of everybody but his own people.
The thing she's going to do is finally unite us, bring us together.
How she's going to do that, man? How? You can't force nobody to unite. When people see you habitually doing things that's going to hurt their community or hurt their country or hurt their society, hurt their religion, hurt their faith, hurt their mission, hurt their goal, and when people see you, how's that going to make you unify? But I keep going.
That other party is trying to tear us down.
All right, let me stop there. You can't point the finger at one party when you got 3 and a thumb pointing back at you. You are just as divisive. The Democratic Party is just as divisive. Trump be going around in his first election, he shamed all the other Republicans, made them look stupid, and in his rally he's talking about I'll knock somebody out. But I hear some of y'all on that say, I'll knock somebody out if they got a Trump shirt on. I just want to hit him in the face. I know his wife don't want to be with him. You guys are just as divisive. There's no unity. You're divisive with your own party. Steny Hoyer telling people, look, if you run for office, we're not going to back you. We're not going to finance you. You own your own. And when somebody want to run against somebody, like if I want to run against AOC, I'm not going to get a back in the Democratic Party if I decide to run in that party. No, they're going to crush me because they have who they want. They tried to do that to AOC. If it wasn't for Our Revolution and Bernie Sanders movement and Justice Democrats and brand new Congress funding her, she wouldn't have never got backing. Because Steny Hoyer told her, no, we ain't backing you. We going to back Crowley like we always back Crowley. Crowley is our boy. I suggest you drop out. She didn't. They did it with Andrew Gilliam. We're not supporting you, Gilliam. We're supporting Bob's granddaughter. Bob Graham is our long-term Democratic friend. If you run for office, Andrew Gilliam, you own your own. If it wasn't for brand new Congress, Justice Democrat, and Our Revolution, Andrew Gilliam wouldn't have got the backing to run that race. So they're anti their own people who run in the party. R.F. Kennedy, you're not going to get no money. We ain't going to give you no security. We're not going to give you no Secret Service. Even though we know your daddy got killed running from office, we ain't going to give you none. Same thing with you, Marion Williams. We ain't going to give, even though you might qualify for debates, we're not having a primary. Forget about it. Joe Biden's our guy. Who cares if you run in the Democratic Party? You talking about the fight? You going to bring somebody together? You talking about controlling the election? You want to point the finger at Trump and Russia helped them and all that? Well, look what you're doing in your own party. Oh, he won't accept that he lost. You can't make somebody accept something, and they ain't got to. So move on. Well, it hurts our democracy. You hurt the democracy by what you're doing in your primary. You have closed primaries. You only leave it open to Democrats only to vote. You won't allow somebody else to vote in your party. If I'm a independent and I see somebody in your party that I support, I have to join the party in order to vote for him to give him the edge. Forget about it. I just got to cross my finger and hope he beats you so I can vote for him in the general. So you're going to say she's going to bring everybody together. Boy, it's a whole lot to do that. Look, let me tell you something. Jesus Christ himself, our Lord and Savior God, don't have what it takes to bring everybody together. Why? Because people are free moral agents. They have a free will. They have free thinking. You can't control them. You guys try your best to mind control people, but you can't. She's going to bring us all, bring everybody together. Yeah, it probably in the Democratic Party, but I don't even think that's going to work in the Democratic Party.
And I got to say this because I'm back home. First of all, let me congratulate your Tigers. I grew up a Tiger fan. So I'm hoping that your Tigers meet my Dodgers for the World Series, okay?
Now, when a Negro lie like that, ain't nothing I want to hear from him right now. You sit there and tell that lie just to kiss the behind of the audience that you hope their Tigers beat your team that you have part ownership in. I think you still got, I don't know, you probably sold that share out, but you did have part ownership in the Dodgers.
But we have 32 days. That sound familiar? Somebody wore number 32. You know who that is, right? Until November 5th. Now, we can't take anything for granted. You've been working hard, but we need to work harder. We got to call people. We got to knock on doors after and before church. Not during church, but after and before church. We got to rally people, talk to them. Now, there's a lot of black men in here, and I don't mean to.
What did you say, nigga?
All right, now this is where I stop. And this is where I get pissed off, all right? Every freaking election, these people stand on here and they focus on black men. They don't focus on white men because they lost the white men to the Trump. Why are you not talking to the white men? You're losing a lot of white women to Trump. Why are you not talking to them? Why you got to focus on black men? See, let me tell you something. Black men are God's ordained leaders in this world. But at the end of the day, the divine order is God, man, children. Men are the leaders, the foresight, the visionary. God give them vision to see things down the road so we don't lead you down the path of destruction. That's who we are. And specifically black men. Since you want to, this whole event has all of a sudden turned its focus on black men. Nobody's talking about Asian men, Japan, China men, Indian men. They vote too. But because we have been it seemed like there's always something when it comes to us. Mainly because we are the leaders. We are the torch bearers. And you can't understand for the life of us why we're not following along the direction you want us to go. Because maybe there's a reason why. Because we are foreseers. We see things down the road that can probably damage this country. For you to single out black men in this event make me think that you're toward black men. Now, let me tell you something. I hate to say this. How often do you see a Republican call out black men? How often? You black men in the Republican Party, y'all better get out there and get more black men out. They don't. They focus on everybody. They expect everybody to get out and vote for whoever running for office. And they have campaigns to single out to try to bring people in and things like that. But they're not having their people on stage put their total focus on pointing a finger at black men. As if we're the reason why you lose election. Yeah, we probably are. But let me tell you something. No matter every freaking election, black men still are the top voters in the Democratic Party, but you tend to point the finger at us. Even if Trump do shave off 5, 10%, 20%, it's still going to be black men that's going to cause, and black women that's going to cause the Democrat to get close to winning or winning. And without us, you ain't going to get close. So why don't you go talk to those other people? You can't. You know why? Because they're in a position that if you want our vote, you want our support, you need to do for our community. If you want us to back your candidate need to talk to us about what she's going to do or he's going to do concerning our neighborhoods, concerning after school program, concerning elderly programming, concerning what you got on the table. See, those people are dealing now. Soon as black men step out of the foreshadow of slut voting, just voting because you're a Democrat, we just gonna give it to you with nothing in exchange, because that's what it is. We always give you the vote and you give us nothing in exchange. Well, we got your black vice president. That don't help the black community at all. What it does, how has the black community changed financially and fiscally and in any other way? Because we got a so-called black VP. We got your black Supreme Court justice. How is that happening? She don't even know what a woman is, and she's a woman. How the hell that happened? Both of them got white men. Where's the black sister with the black husband that you put in the leadership position? All you give us symbolism, and black men has decided to take a stand and say the symbolism is over. We're going to do just like the Japanese. We're going to do just like the Asians. We're going to do just like, no, you coming to the table. You want our vote. You want our support. We need to see your vision for black America. We don't want to see a vision that you call a vision for black America, but when you read the language in the plan, it's a minority package. And again, minority, the number one minority in America is white women now. It's not black people. They're the number one minority. But yet, let me let them keep playing.
Not talk to other people, but this is important. Our black men, we got to get them out to vote. That's number one.
All right, so he said, our black men, we need to get them out to vote.
Who the think you talking to?
First of all, who in the hell are you talking to, Magic Johnson? Black men gonna get out to vote. And what, we're your child? You gonna make sure you pick us up and you gonna chastise us if we don't go vote?
We're not your little niggas. Like, for real, all that big homie stuff, that's for little niggas. Little niggas have big homies. We're not little niggas, so we don't even respect big homies. Hey, who is this nigga? I want to respect you, but I can't.
Who in the hell are you? Man, just because you're a superstar and a legend, man, don't mean you the boss of us. And I'm like, Mace, man, who you think you talking to? We not your little niggas, man. We're not. Who you think you talking to? We don't even respect people like you to come talk to us. When the last time you really stumped for the black community, Magic Johnson? When the last time you took a bunch of your money, your billions, and funneled it in black communities all over the nation? And you think you got the right, and the Democratic got the right to parade you like you represent us? I mean, you're a black man, don't get me wrong. But who the hell are you to make a statement as if we not going to get out and vote? We vote more than anybody. At first it was the men, but then the women took over because men started seeing some stuff that we didn't like. So men was like, yo, we going to have to sit down with other men and say, hey, we can't be doing this symbolism stuff. Our women still stuck on that symbolism stuff. We can't change them. And when we do, it's going to be slowly, systematically, and strategically to change their mind. But we got to sit down first and talk about slowly, strategically fighting for more than just symbolism. Because the Democratic Party has been, Republicans ain't been giving us jack, but at least Trump is coming up with some program that focus on black people, not minorities, black people. And whether they work or not, he working it or not, at least he's coming up with it. Where's that in the Democratic Party? Because every time we turn around.
So I'm not going to sit here and say I'm going to do something that's only going to benefit black people. No.
And I'm not just the president of black people. I'm the president of all people. No, we're not playing those games no more. What you got on our 40, homie? We're going to have to step away from our wives for a second. Let them continue to kiss your behind and follow you down the yellow brick road. But we're going to have a black meeting, a black men's meeting. And black men are saying nowadays, look, you can scare us with the threat of Trump. You can scare us with this fascist talk or this dictatorship talk. You can scare us with that. But this ain't the first time black men had to deal with stuff. We've torn down governments like that. We're warriors. But we're going to have to sit down and strategize as warriors. It's time for us to start getting something for our vote. And if you ain't getting it, then we might have to shop somewhere else. Well, that means you're not voting. That don't mean we're not voting. We voting. May not be for you, but we're voting. We need to get men out. Like we men don't know how to go to the polls and vote. Or like we men are just going to sit it out. The nerves of the Democratic Party to send this man out here to chastise us because our numbers may not be like the women numbers used to be. Still at the bottom of the day, we're still, if not the number one, the number two biggest voting block. Carry that message over to the other people. Carry it to the white men and the white women. Talk to them like that. You're not. You ain't gonna talk to white society like that. You're not gonna talk to the Asians like that. You may talk like that a little bit to the Latinos, but they're gonna correct you and check you straight too. And it's high time we black people need to start doing these Democrats the same way too. The hell with you.
Kamala's opponent promised a lot of things last time to the black community that he did not deliver on.
All right, so let me stop there. All right, so he said Kamala's opponent promised a lot of things to the black community that he didn't deliver on. At least the Negro promised something. He promised, and he tried to act on it. He did the First Step program. He did put money into HBCUs. May not be, well, we know a black woman was at the forefront of all these initiatives, but Donald Trump say, hey, I'm gonna fuel it. Steve Harvey over there talking trash about Trump right now. He was the first person to Trump Tower asking for money for his after school program, his boys mentorship program, and Trump gave him everything he needed. Everything. So how the hell you gonna sit here at Magic and say that he promised something to the black community that he didn't deliver? Number one, he couldn't deliver too much of none with a pandemic going through, but he did have some programs specifically for black people. Whether you like him or not, at least he did. Whether it was a worm on the hook, at least he put worm on the hook. You guys are just trying to give us a straight hook. You expect us to bite on nothing. Put something on the hook. No, you're not going to do that because you expect us to just follow you blindly because of what you did for us since the 60s. And we owe you our lives, and we don't. No, you owe us your life. If it wasn't for us, you wouldn't have remained in power all these years. You owe us. And guess what? You're going to start paying us. And that's why you mad, because you scared black men ain't going to be there for you. And that's supposed to happen. We supposed to give you a fear of loss. We supposed to. And it's good. It's good. It's good because you got people out there telling her, oh, we got to get y'all to the polls. Negro, you ain't got to get us nowhere. Who the hell are you? And lady, and woman, sit down. You ain't got to get us nowhere either. We men. We know how to get to the polls our doggone self. Who are you to try to chastise me? You got your own vote, woman. Go vote. You got your own vote, Asian man. Go vote. As a black man, I got my own vote. Don't come telling me what I need to do with my vote. I do whatever I want to. If you got a black agenda, strictly for black people, not no lift up program. What was it called? Lift Every Voice program. Yeah, man, remember when I went through that thing and I combed through the thing and it ain't had nothing to do with black people. It was a minority program cloaked on the cover of black program. Made it look like it was for black people when it was really a minority program. Black people, black men are tired of it. We see the sleight of hand that's going on now. And we not putting up with that. And if that man want to come up with a program or he want to reinitiate that program, the man had opportunity zones where he was trying to get companies to come back into neighborhoods, primarily hiring majority black people to go work in those factories. He had the plan. It was in motion. COVID knocked it out the box. Oh, Rob, you something for Trump? No, I'm just going to tell you the straight facts. Tell me about the program that the Democrats had to match that. At least he had something. Tell me about the program that the Democrats had. Don't tell me about that left all, because that was a minority program. And you can go back and watch my 2 videos on it, and I go through it in detail. And again, I told you the number one minority in America today is not black people, according to the status, is white women. Gays second. We're down at the bottom of the totem pole now, when originally it should have been us. But as soon as we fight for civil rights, they give it to everybody. It's like, hey, we know you earned it, but we're going to give it to everybody now. We're not going to give it just to you. It's like your mama's, your mom, I want that Tonka truck so bad, and you work so hard, and you clean your room, and you wash the dishes, and your bed is nice and everything, and she finally give it to you, but she gave it to your brothers and sisters too, and did nothing. You gave them, these Negroes ain't washed one dish, did not clean up. No, they was sweeping the stuff under the bed. They ain't do nothing. My bed was clean. Under my bed was clean. I did everything to get my truck. And you gonna give me in them trucks?
And we got to make sure we help black men understand that.
All right, so you want to make sure that you make black men understand that Trump didn't do nothing for us, but you did. Help me understand, Magic Johnson. Help me understand, brother. Tell me. You're going to tell me, because I've looked at that. I looked at the amount of people that Trump personally let out of jail. A lot of them were superstars. That's my pet peeve with Trump. He don't mind letting out black superstars, but he don't let out enough people who aren't superstars, like the brother who just got killed, just got executed. Couldn't let that guy go. But then again, Kamala and Biden could have let him go too, but they didn't. They could have pardoned that guy. He was innocent. Trump got LeVar Ball and son out of trouble and a whole bunch of other people out of trouble. But the First Step Act did get some legends out of jail, black people out of jail. But it's supposed to correct the wrong that the crime bill did, and it didn't. As soon as they started putting it in motion, COVID hit. But the man at least had something. What did you have? Nothing. Did you have any opportunity zone where you say, hey, companies, if you come back to this area, we'll make it easy for you to come plant your company in this area, and you provide jobs for these people over here, and we're going to give you a tax cut the first 5 years or something like that? Did you guys try to do that to bring a job back to black neighborhoods or impoverished neighborhoods where they can make more money? No, you had nothing. You're the reasons why our job went overseas. You the one did the NAFTA, CAFTA, and all that. Bill Clinton did that. Drove our jobs overseas. This man come up with something and start putting it in motion. Don't mention the HBCUs. You can't tell me these HBCUs will tell you they got their funding and they're gonna get it for quite a long time. That's if y'all don't mess it up. But you're gonna sit here and tell us that he didn't, when all you have to do is go look at the documentation from the White House and you find out that he did. Go to whitehouse.gov. And it may not be the amount of money that you believe he should give, but he gave money, and he's probably doing it systematically throughout the years. He could have gave them one lump sum for 5 years, but he probably said, no, you're going to get this every year. I'm not going to give you one lump sum. Anyway, let me keep going.
So that's why I'm here to make sure I help black men understand. First, get out and vote, and then vote for the next president of the United States.
So you're here to help us understand. All right, let me see if you're going to help us understand.
Kamala Harris. She's for women's rights to make their own decision with their body. We gotta.
I bet you all for that, human beings making their own decision with their body, right? And you know, so you're for baby deletion. You're for her continuing the deletion of the next generation. I know you folks get mad when I say that. Look, I understand. You know, according to Trump, he supports rape, incest, difficulty of surgery, extreme situations like that. Me, I support that. Now, I do believe that some people may have the mind, it depends on their age and their mentality, to continue to have the baby even though it was rape. But I don't believe in this freestyle free will anytime I want abortion, because you got to understand, according to my faith, life begins inside the womb, not outside the womb. There's a lot of living organism in your body right now. That's life, has life to it. Your blood vessels, your blood cells, that's a life. And there's so many contraceptives out there, there's no reason for you to get a freaking abortion. Even if you got raped, if you had the morning after pill, you wouldn't have to worry about aborting a baby of a rapist. There's ways to prevent yourself from getting pregnant. That's why I support crisis pregnancy centers over Planned Parenthood. Because crisis pregnancy centers, which you don't hear about that much, but they need to be a rebirth of that, will help you prepare that if you want to have the baby, you're going to have everything possible to have that baby. That abortion would be the last option. Because we can't usurp law. If you want to get an abortion and that state supports it, it's not with the federal government no more, and we don't need it to be with the federal government. It's with the state. If that state supports it, you can get it. And you shouldn't be able to get tracked down and thrown in jail if you decide to go to another state that do support it. I don't believe in that. But I don't believe this, you know, what really get me, you support that for a woman's right, but you ain't support my right to not get the COVID shot. You support my right, and some people didn't want to get it, but you told them, look, if you don't get it, you're gonna lose your job. I don't care if you've been on your job 20 years and you're about to retire. You better get the shot, and people was forced to get the shot. Well, let me keep going. And they got the nerves to be singing the freedom song, holding the freedom sign. That's not the freedom that people fought and died for. It's some things that there is no fight to it. You yelling freedom and you out there marching for freedom. You got everything at your hands to give you control of whether you have a child or not. It shouldn't be on the federal government. It shouldn't be on you're not going to let a man have a say-so in it, but you want the federal government to not have the say-so about it. But there's all kind of resources to make sure you don't get pregnant. But you yelling freedom. You got freedom. It's called contraceptives, but let me keep going.
I see the UAW president. I was really blown away because not only did my father work there, my brother Larry, my brother Michael, his wife Ronnie. I got now nieces and nephews who belong to the union. So thank you for what you're doing. She's always been for labor and union. Kamala Harris has always been for labor and union.
Now, I can say this because I live in New York, and I was in New York before Trump decided to run. Trump had his issues with some of the union bosses, but I mean, Trump never really fought against the unions, from what I saw. Okay, and of course, the Democrats are heavy with the unions. Matter of fact, one of the pet peeves that I have with the unions is they give their support. The leadership will vote and say, hey, we at 32BJ, SEIU, we're supporting Kamala Harris. But the people didn't vote on that. And you can't be the board and make this decision for the people. You got to have one vote along with the people. Your vote got to be no different from theirs when you vote for who you're going to support for the candidacy. And I've always been a person that would tell the unions, look, you don't throw your support to these candidates until they come out to at least a few meetings rallying for these workers who's trying to get more pay, who's trying to get more vacation and things like that. These people out here striking. If this person is coming to town and he wants your endorsement, he need to be at that strike. Bernie Sanders was at the TWU event. He also went to the CWU event after he got the endorsement from the TWU over Hillary Clinton. He ran down to the CW, which was not that far from the Union Hall, TWU Local 100. He ran down there and stomped for CWU while Hillary Clinton was up there kissing the behind of the board members. And she wasn't kissing the behind of the board members on behalf of the people. She was kissing the behind of the board members so she can get financial support for her campaign. So I am a union guy. I support for union. I used to work in the union, and where I'm at right now is a union job. So I'm for unions, but I have my issues with unions too, especially union bosses, because sometimes guys get paid more than the president. Well, let me keep going.
That's never going to change. Now, this is the year for women. We just, hold on.
It's the year for women. Last year was the year for women. The year before that was the year for women. I'd rather have a year for black people over a year for women. I'd rather have a year for black families over a year for women. I'd rather have a year for families over the year for men or the year for women. It's always been men's year according to them because men always led. But yeah, we're getting some great women leaders and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, there's still a godly divine order. And men is supposed to still lead every mandate, every decision. The man is supposed to be in the forefront leading with a flag. Even though the woman may be in charge. The woman is in charge. The man support that woman in charge. But when it comes to all other things or things in general, the man is the lead. Oh, that's sexist. Oh, that's sexist. No, it's just a divine order. There's something special about us men, especially us heterosexual men, that we have the ability to tune ourselves spiritually to the Creator on high and get communication from Him on which direction to go. But we have to sit ourselves down, get out of the headwind of politics, the headwind of family life and stuff like that. Sit ourselves down and just spend time praying, meditating, thinking, pondering, and shut up sometimes and hear from within. Because when we do that and we get a direction, it always works out in our favor. We never fail. But as soon as we let people, man, politics, parties try to take us down a direction, we will always lose. We will lose every freaking time.
Hold on. We just saw what Mexico did. Elected his first woman president ever.
People, that's great, but believe me, I bet you she didn't get there unless she did something for those people down on the ground, unless she had a track record of really doing for the people in general. I bet you in her hometown, in the town where she led, people had rave reviews about her. She didn't have nobody saying, well, she was When she was this and this, she locked people up and locked parents up for truancy and things like that. And she was laughing at people when they got their convictions and stuff like that. And she held back evidence for this and this and that. And she had the camera shut off, and and didn't want people to have access to the body cams and stuff. All that kind of foolishness. I guarantee you, she didn't win like that.
Let's make sure we here in the United States elect our first woman president in Kamala Harris. Thank you, Michigan, for allowing me to come home.
All right, so that's the end of that. Let me get up out of here. I got to get ready to go. All right, so that's that. So Magic Johnson endorses Kamala Harris, and he's on the campaign trail, especially for Michigan. She need to get anybody that got any kind of juice in Michigan to come out, because there's a real big there's a damage that has happened to the Democratic Party, and they're bleeding severely, and that's with the Palestinian community and the Muslim community. They are really upset how Kamala Harris is going to go along right with Donald Trump with this Israel over everything, and continuing to allow this genocide to continue to happen to the people of Palestine. This thing happened a long time ago, and you never forget. But look, we all know the story. This may happen on that day, but this been happen every day in Gaza, every day in Palestine. And yeah, you can blame Hezbollah and all that stuff like that, but that's no excuse for you carpet bombing and killing people on the hunt for Hezbollah. But anyway, Magic Johnson said his speech, and he focused on black men for a second. And as a black man, I have to say it's very insulting. It's very condescending. You're a billionaire. And we can understand why you want Kamala Harris, because Kamala Harris goes along with the Hollywood agenda, and goes along with the California mandate, and goes along with the lifestyle of your son, and goes along with all that kind of stuff. I get that. I see why you would do that. That's you. But for people like me, I don't want that. I don't want that. I am not for casual abortions. I am not for trying to sexualize our children at a young age. I'm not for giving them the opportunity to get themselves prepped for changes in their life that you can't change, when they can't even change their clothes on their own sometimes, when they can't even make a decision on what food to eat sometimes. I'm not for all that. It's a lot of things that I'm not for. And for you to sit there and say you're gonna educate us on the promises that he made with black people that he didn't perform, how come you ain't do it? Because you know why you can't do it? Because at least he promised something. You guys haven't promised anything, and you haven't promised anything for black people right now. You haven't promised any programs, and black men know that, and black men are tired of that, and black men are tired of giving you a free vote without nothing in exchange. Black men have realized that our vote is a powerful commodity, and he who does something for the black community can get our vote. We're not going to sit here and play games and be one-sided no more. We're ready to make a deal. See, we black men realize that if we can get the strongest support among one another when it comes to a mission or a mandate, we can keep both of y'all in check. If we put on the hat of Malcolm X and say, hey, look, we're detaching and attacking, then we can get more done. But as long as we continue to be in the coat of either party and not making demands and just sitting there just giving out votes for no reason, which most communities do not do, that's why they're not talking to them. They only talk to you, black man, like you owe them your life. And they want to get the woman to side with them to talk to you. And woman, don't you dare side with a political party to try to chastise that man because you think he's going the wrong direction. That man is 9 times 10 going the right direction because he's ordained by God to be an overseer. He's or seer to see things that are about to happen. And he put that man in a place to make things happen on behalf of the woman and the kids. And you just got to follow his lead. You got to trust him and trust the God in him. He knows what he's doing. If we don't start putting the brakes on these political parties who's doing nothing for us and forcing their hand, then you're going to continue to be neglected to the point that you won't have no power no more, because some people going to see your power and they're going to say you neglected, but we'll pick it up and we're going to use it to get what we want, and you're going to get feased out because we didn't strike while the iron was hot. The iron is hot right now and you got to strike. That man is talking about reinforcing his programs again, and whether they work or not, at least he's talking about some programs for black people. You are like the Republicans used to be. You had nothing for black people. And see, that's how the Republicans used to be. They had nothing for black people. And guess what? Even to this day, with Magic Johnson talking all that trash about black men and we need to get them out to vote like we some kind of little kid, black men know that to this day you ain't got nothing for them. And guess what? A lot of us ain't got nothing for you. And if you want something from us, you got 32 days to react.